everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. I don't know, whatever it is for you. Good day? It's always the day, to be fair. Even when it's nighttime, it's still a day, you know? Right? Right? So maybe that's what we should go for. Good day. Good day. Hello, welcome to Saturday morning, afternoon, evening, DOOGER. Again, whatever it is for you. Can I show you the state? It's going to be difficult to peel this out. My daughter has graduated to having made these muffins so many times that she's like bored with her part of the process and was like, I want to scoop the batter into the muffins. The into these, the jackets. I don't know. And I was like, okay, sure. You know what? Go for it. And I gotta say, that she definitely pays attention when I do it. She mimicked my actions, like how I tend to do it. So I was impressed with that. A lot of batter got all over the place, but she honestly did okay. She did all right. So shout out to Clarky. Well done. I'm going to eat one of these beautiful muffins she made. Because to be honest, she did a lot of it today. I guess this is what happens when you're like, I've had a child and now I've decided I need to know how to make muffins. Cool, I now know how to make muffins. I'm going to just make these once a week for the rest of my life. They're good, but they're dense. I can't figure out what it is that, like, it's the same recipe, but sometimes when we make it, they fluff up really well, and sometimes they don't. And I don't understand why. I don't know what the variable is that overmixed, maybe. Maybe it is mixing. Yeah. Could be. Could be. Time to experiment. Muffins are easily overmixed. Interesting. Well, there you go. Maybe I overmixed them. Dense as a harem protagonist. That's fucking dense. Anyways, how are you guys? Happy weekend. Sam and I have to try and put together our closet thingies today or tomorrow. I just said I wanted to do it this weekend sometime. I was like, we've been in clothing hell for so long. I just want a better future for us. Like, if we can just build these, because all the pieces are here. They all showed up. Like, if we could just get this going in a good direction, that would be great. I watched a bit of Criken last night. The row is insane. Oh my God. I was laughing because so there are chats for in the Discord. There are chats for each of like the different areas to talk to each other. And so I basically only exist in the Undercity, at least for now. So I only interact with the Undercity chat. I went to look at the Upper City chat. Keep in mind the Undercity chat has been like betrayal and murders and like like entire groups falling apart and like all kinds of shit, right? Like the Undercity is a disaster right now. And so I go to look at Upper City, which again, I've never watched anybody who's in Upper City. I don't know anything about what's actually going on in Upper City, but I went up into their chat just out of curiosity. And they were like, I'm so excited for the gala next week. It's going to be so fun. And then somebody else was like, yeah, and I really hope that I'm able to like do my book club. And I was like, I'm sure that fucked up shit happens up there too. But right now, looking at that, like something's wrong here. Ridiculous. So yeah, Kelly and my characters got to interact a bunch, which was really fun. Because Kelly and I kept being like, man, it sucks because you're in the row, right? But she's also part of the Magic Guild, and the Magic Guild, I think they reference it as a guild, but the Magic Guild, which I'm going to continue to call it, is in Undercity. So occasionally people who are in the row will come to Undercity if something's happening at the Magic Guild. And so a bunch of stuff happened at the Magic Guild last night. No spoilers. A bunch of stuff happened at the Magic Guild last night. And so Kelly was there. And I got to interact with Kelly a bunch, but her headset was fritzing. So she only got to be in the game for like an hour before she needed to take everything off. And then my trackers started acting super weird. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll log out and then log back in without the trackers on, because like the number of times people were coming up to me and being like, hey buddy, your legs are looking a little weird. I'd be like, oh, I'll hold on. And to like go fucking try to fix it, and it never fixed. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna log out and log back in without. That is the voice of my character. Side note, I'm just gonna log out and log back in without that stuff on. And then it was doing a thing, and Kelly said that this happens sometimes, and so did Sam. But then it was doing a thing where I didn't have the trackers on, so it wasn't full body tracking. I would look down to look at my feet, and my body had slowly like rotated. So I would be standing there like acting as Moral, but when I looked down, my body was like this way. I'd be like physically would like adjust myself and then try to like, it was very odd. So I'm not sure why that was happening, but it was annoying. That's a great voice. Thank you. A couple of people have been like, it's very odd to hear one of your like quintessential voices in Kellis Row. It was very fun. And I think if people can stop killing each other, I've got a good direction to point Moral in. The mushrooms just keep getting involved in all kinds of shit, and I'm like, God damn it. Never a dull moment. Remember how the first couple of sessions I was like, man, nothing's going on. I would love for some action. And then finally some action happened, and I was like, hell yeah. And now I'm like, it's too much action. Too much action. Too much action. The giant mushroom is funny. Conk. He's like the lead map dev. The mushrooms, all of them except for me and Wisp, are devs in Kellis Row. night, tiny legs. Oh, also Misdemeanor was great. Misdemeanor was very fun. Awesome. How are you? Yeah, it's so cool. I won't give details beyond this, but the like guest on the show currently is Joe Fudge. And it's so fun to have him on there because I was talking with him because like in the offline games that we did, the group that we were with, it definitely felt like he and I were super into the like RP element, and everybody else kind of just wanted to like goof and fight stuff, right? So we always felt so bad when we would be like, and now we're by the campfire and we're going to have a long, intensive conversation. And so I messaged him after the session yesterday, and I was like, it's actually really awesome to like play with you with a group that's all super into the RP. Because it feels like you're able to like slip in a bit better. And he was like, yeah, totally. Not that there was ever anything wrong with our offline group. I adored them. But you know, sometimes the way in which you want to RP is completely different from the rest of your group. Happy Saturday, Mikochi. I heard there are muffins. There's one left. There's one muffin left. I've eaten 2 of them on stream already. Yeah, you can have a blast with a group and then join another group and be like, oh, this group's actually like super into, you know, like character exploration sort of stuff. And like, you know, I'm super into that too. That's really great. And it's not that like one group is better than the other, but that, you know, an element to the game that you really love and want to explore more, you get to do it with this group. First time at the stream, I'm loving the comfy vibes. Welcome. I think it normally feels like this. I think it normally feels like this. What kind of muffins are they? In our friend cookbook, I called them Brookie's Bluebies, but they're blueberry muffins. So I sent a picture. Hold on, I'll find it. I sent a picture to Jeannie of Clark, and I was like, we're making the bluebies. We're making the bluebies right now. Why do they keep doing this? Lately, when I take pictures, if I go into photos on my phone, it doesn't show all of the pictures that have been taken. I can only see the pictures if I'm in another app and I try to attach a photo. Isn't that weird? So I'll like be going through my photos and be like, where are all these pictures of Clark? But if I go into WhatsApp and I try to send my mom a photo, it'll show all of the pictures. It's weird. Anyways, I guess I'll go and speaking of, kid, she poured them. She crushed it. See, like honestly, not too bad for a 2-year-old. I topped them off, but she poured the initials. Very cute. Let's turn that on. Time for a new phone now. Why am I putting these on? I don't need those. Not today. Death. Sometimes I'll empty my trash bin in photos, and when I go back to it, the photos are still there. See, that's what I thought too, is that it might be a weird category setting. But when we were doing muffins, I took a few different pictures, and when I go into photos, some of them show up, but not all of them. Why is that? It's just picking and choosing which ones of the pictures I took right in a row it wants me to have access to. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's very odd. But anyways, yes, these are Brookie's Bluebies. They're not as fluffy as I want them to be. Chat thinks I might have overmixed them, which I think is potentially a thing, because one of Clark's jobs, Clark does mixing, but she also is in charge of putting blueberries into the mixture. And sometimes she insists on doing it like one at a time, and I get bored. And so every time she throws a blueberry in there, I'll mix. And I'm realizing now, thinking back, like, that was a mistake. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely overmixed. Yeah. Yeah, I'm having a good day so far. Having a good day. I can't complain. I planted a bunch of flowers yesterday because my kid really wanted flowers. And it was actually really nice this morning to like look out onto my front porch and be like, oh, there are flowers there. That's nice. That's nice. I'm normally a can I eat this? If not, do I want to bother growing it kind of person. Speaking of which, so I normally name all of my plants after people that I know. The flowers don't have names currently, but I will say in the race to see who bounces back after winter, Criken, who is our chive plant, Criken coming back in a big way. He's huge. He's beautiful. And Kristen is our catnip mint. Kristen is also gigantic. Chives are great. Name all of the flowers chat. No, it's very fun. I like to see how they're doing, and then I send updates to the friend that they're named after. So today I'm going to take a picture of the chive plant, and I'm going to send it to Keenan Criken, and I'm going to be like, hey, bud, you're thriving. Keep crushing it. Is Jesse a tuber? Jesse was our tomato plant last year, so he's gone. I need a new Jesse. What is cat mint for? It's a type of mint. You can use it just as mint. Cats tend to like it, but my cats don't give a shit about it. Who produced more in the end, Jesse or Crendor? I mean, there were different types of tomato plants for sure. I would say that Crendor was more consistent. And Jesse didn't produce anything and then suddenly produced so many we couldn't eat them all. So I need to be prepared. My plan this year is to be prepared to can stuff, because specifically tomato plants, if they just give you too much, it's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with all of these? So yeah. So we'll see. I really want to do some root vegetable stuff this year. But I know that's normally more of like a fall thing, but you can't like things like potatoes you can start doing now. I've got catmint growing at the moment, but my cats keep crushing it and rolling on the poor thing. Yeah, my cats don't give a shit about mine. Yeah, I'd like to do more leafy greens as well, I think. Stuff to use in salads and stuff, like lettuce mix and all that. It might just be turned off. One sec. No, it's not. It means that it was redeemed too recently. So if you can't redeem an ad, it's because someone just redeemed it. I would love to grow mushrooms. I adore mushrooms. I am the only one in this house. Sam has a texture thing with mushrooms. It's totally fine. If I like buzz them until they're basically nothing and then add them to a thing, it's fine. But if he tastes too much of the mushroom flavor, he doesn't like it. So it has to be in like a sauce or something, or like a stew where, you're kind of using it for the umami element, but like it's not meant to taste like mushroom, Sir William, thank you very much for the gifted subs. If you were gifted a sub just now, be sure to take the time to say thank you. It's very sweet. But yeah, I love mushrooms. Lion's mane. Oh my God. I think lion's mane is probably my favorite mushroom. I used to be able to get it at, when I was in college, there was a little farmer's market, and there was a lady there that sold all different types of mushrooms that she grew. And her lion's mane was tight. Any developments on the spiders in the tummy discussion with Clark? Have you gotten to the part where apparently we eat them in our sleep? No. She has been asking how poop is made. I was talking about that yesterday. Like, why do we poop? How do we poop? Where does poop come from? That kind of thing. So I've been trying to help her understand that. You know, all the important stuff. But it's not about that. She wants to know what's going on inside. What is poop? Why do we poop? So I got to explain what the colon is and what the bladder is. I explained what the stomach does to food, or I tried to, and then basically was like, and then all of the different, there are lots of different organs, there are lots of different things in our body that sort of assess like what they can and can't use. And then once everybody's decided they can't use a thing, then you poop it out. That was like the simplest way to honestly answer that question to me. About a year ago, my Valentine said my partner and I had submitted the partner visa application for him to live with me in Australia, and today it was approved. Thanks, Dodger and chat, for being there through the highs and the lows. I love you all. I'm very happy for you. Congratulations. And Toachmeister says this Valentine is for my dad, who's currently in hospital after having a small portion of his lung removed. They believe it might be cancer. Still might have cancer hot spots in his neck and stomach, but he's getting them looked at too. Big hugs to Dad. Big hugs, Dad. Fuck cancer, man. All those anatomy classes paying off. I guess. Isn't it weird that, like, I dissected so many things, and now it's been long enough that the only thing that I really vividly remember is what it smelled like. If I walked into a room and I smelled that again, I would know something is being preserved in here to be cut open. Let's look at our Valentines. Let's see if there were some, because both of those were Valentines. Crickbell says happy Passover to everyone here. Eisner Guy says happy Passover Eve to my fellow Jews. Happy Passover, guys. Sonic Advance says love yourself, love the way you are, love life, and best of all, love yourself some water as a treat. Smell memory is so powerful. So powerful, dude. Um, I was trying to teach. Here, I'll tell you everything that I was saying. I was trying to teach Clarky how to say donut. She said something about donuts, and I was like, Mommy knows the sign for donuts now, but it's a 2-part sign, so it's like kind of difficult for her, right? So I was like, you do this and then this. This is nut, so D nut, donut. And I was like, and this one is coffee. So we could say that we're eating donuts and coffee. And she was like, or we could make donuts and coffee out of Play-Doh. I don't know how to say Play-Doh, so I was like, clay. So out of clay, we made donuts and coffee. I know, everybody was saying crab, and I was like, no. Because lip reading wise, right? Crab versus clay. I was like, I feel like they must look very different. I'm just looking up vocab stuff right now. I haven't had an opportunity to just sit and like start the course, unfortunately. But yeah, thank you so much for the ads from Kane Ray and Karma in Exile. Appreciate it. We have 2 more Valentines. Jupiter Knox says, big love to myself for getting through a traumatizing hospital stay for my ulcerative colitis and getting started on infusion treatments. Hell yeah. And Lord Nova said, this is for my friend Jesse Jerdak, an absolutely wonderful person, DM, and cosplayer. He could use all of our love. He's recently been diagnosed with a brain tumor. We have a family member with a brain tumor. It's hard, man. Big love to them. I'm looking at your clips. Did you read some Peppa Pig? Yeah. So I was talking about how when I read the Peppa Pig books, Clark makes me do all of the voices. And so I was giving examples and everyone was like, read us a Peppa Pig book. So I went to grab a Peppa Pig book and I read it to everybody. Also, can I just say, I would just like to say, I was talking to Joe last night after Misdemeanor. Joe was like, I really love Alice. Like, Alice is a really cool character. And I was like, thank you. And I said, by the way, since you're actually English, if you have any tips for my accent, let me know. And he was like, honestly, for the most part, it's spot on. It's great. And I was like, really? Because chat keeps telling me it's okay, but a bit cringe. And he was like, it's chat. It's fine. Honestly, it's a really good accent, which put me so at ease. I was like, that's so nice to hear. I'm so glad. I can't wait to read books to my kids when I have kids. It's very fun. I get to play D&D today as a break from potty training our daughter. I'm stoked. Oh my gosh, bless. As a parent who is also potty training, bless you. Enjoy. Yeah, but that's exactly what I was going for. Yeah, how did he put it? He was like, hold on. Oh, we were talking about Godforged for a really long time. I forgot. Our conversation went on for a while. He said, dude, your accent is on point. It's really good. It sounds like an Oxford boarding school posh boy. It's like, That's exactly what I want it to be. That's great. I'm so glad that's how it reads. I find it interesting that your accent changes when you're talking to Clark. Yeah. It's like drastically different, I think. Good morning. How's your week going? It's going good. How are you? PNP, peeing and pooping. Every day. Yeah, that is one thing that Sam has said before when he's been around while I'm reading the Peppa Pig books, is he'll be like, you definitely make them sound a little bit posher than they're supposed to sound. Like when I'm speaking as Mummy Pig, sometimes he'll be like, why is Mummy Pig so posh? Why? That doesn't make any sense. Why would she be that posh? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just trying to replicate how she sounds on the show to me. Yeah, I feel like I go above and beyond to try and make Peppa Pig content entertaining for my child when she requests it. So, what is Dodger's American accent called? Pacific Northwest is where I'm from. But my accent is generally referred to as the standard American accent. It doesn't have like a lot of twang to it or anything. But yeah. Mummy went to boarding school. Pacific Northwest, baby. Me too. Hell yeah. I miss it sometimes. But fortunately, the weather out here is almost identical. So, it eases the feeling. Yeah, living in California gave me a hint of valley for sure. I would say that overall, I still sound like standard flat Northwestern accent. Yeah, Valley is not even all of California. Valley is like a specific area of California, and it tends to lift at the end of sentences. It's very so I was walking around with my friend, and she and I were, having like a drink at a little cafe, and I can't really remember the drink, but it was like a pretty it was something that had like a lot of milk in it, and it's like a lot of that, like inflection wise. How do you pronounce? Oh, bagel. I've heard the pronunciation of that word swaps from east to west. Yeah, we say it bagel. I think it's either, depending on where you live, it's either bagel or bagel. But everybody that I've ever met says bagel. I feel like I don't think I've ever met somebody who was like, can't wait to go get me a bagel. Bagel. Oh, bagel maybe is more what it is. We did. Yeah, we started the cookbook. I put 2 recipes in there. One of my friends, Jeannie, put a recipe in there. I don't think Kristen's put anything in there yet. I have another one that I want to add, but I don't want to like I don't want to be a hog, so have you ever taken the New York Times accent quiz that points you to the location of America or UK that your accent now is? No. Bagel. Interesting. That sounds like it would be. That feels. I don't know. Saying it out loud feels like it would be very northern, like almost Canadian. Or maybe it is Canadian. Like milk. I think in the past when I've said like I know people who say milk, I've had I've been pointed in the direction of Canada for that. One thing that annoys me is near where I live, people pronounce idea as idea. I love stuff like that, though. There are things like that that Jesse does. Aaron does some of those. Happily Aaron has a few of those where it's like, this is definitely a product of where you grew up, like the way you pronounce this specific word. And every time they say it, it like really stands out to me. But I don't want to point it out because I don't want them to feel like self-conscious about it and then try to change it, because I actually adore that like those sorts of differences exist. Also, Tina Jima, sorry, I totally did not say hi to you when you resubbed. I hope you're doing good. Jesse played Later Alligator for Fan Friday and was asking if you wrote the dialogue. Wait, he just now played it? He hadn't played it before? Oh my gosh. I'm so jealous that he got to experience it for the first time. I love that game. If you haven't played Later Alligator, that game is so good. Also, you should follow the creators on Twitter because they make little animations. There's like a little animation of a dog that's just like dancing, and they put it up with like the day of the week sometimes. It's so cute. I don't know the names of any accents in England. Ignore the fact that there are as many accents in England as there are stars in the sky. But like, I don't hear an accent and go, oh, that's a Yorkshire accent, or oh, I bet they're like more northern, or oh, they sound like very far south. They're like, I can maybe guess occasionally, but I don't. Like when somebody says like, how do you feel about a Brummie accent? I don't know what the fuck that is, and I don't know what it sounds like. Cockney, sure, because Sam's family's Cockney. Um, the Queen's English, sure. Whatever the fuck A-list is supposed to be, sure. But like, but the ones that don't get highlighted as much in like media, because like that's mostly how Americans hear that stuff, right? So like I actually really adore like the far south accents. Um, a member of the family, cousin's mom, what the fuck? River, who is our little niece, her mom is from Manchester. And so when her accent like really comes out, I'm like, oh, I love that. Um, so I like there are some where I can go, I think it's from there. And I remember really loving that accent when I was told where it was from, but I can't recall it, you know? What is Sam's D&D character supposed to be? Which one? Which one? The changeling. I'm pretty sure that she's meant to be Cockney. Ost, yeah. Yeah, I've started like so I was telling chat that I saw a drive-through Costa while I was out. I finally bit the bullet and went to B&Q and got some plants and things there. And then as I was like driving away, I saw a drive-through Costa and I was like, "Oh my God, I could get a coffee, like a shitty sugary coffee." I haven't had one of those in like over a year. So went through the drive-through and I said this like maybe a week ago, but I've realized I now have a whole lot of anxiety about going through a drive-through because I understand people just fine in the area that I live. I understand people just fine. I never have to ask people to repeat themselves as long as I am like standing in front of them. Right? So if I'm at the grocery store and I'm talking to like the person who's like running the till, no problems. Even when it's thick, no problems whatsoever, right? For some reason, and I'm speculating that it's because like facial like the way their face is moving even with masks or just closeness like for clarity. I'm not sure what it is, but I cannot understand people at all when it's coming through the speaker at a drive-through. So I keep having to do this thing where if I don't understand them, I'm like, I'm so sorry, my kid is being really loud. I can't understand you very well. Even if it's not true. And whenever I say it, I'll turn around and be like, sorry, Clark. Sorry, Clark. I used you as an excuse. I'm sorry. It's because of how bad the speakers are. No, I don't think it is. No, I think it's literally like my brain is piecing together lots of different variables in order to put together the full picture of like what this person has said. Cuz I'm a transplant here, right? So when we first got here, it was still like ever so slightly dicey occasionally whether or not I could understand someone, but at this point now I understand people just fine. But when the variables change, my brain goes, I have no context clues here, right? Like I have no idea. And of course, there's also the fact of, like the example I gave before was when we went through, I think the McDonald's drive-through or whatever it was. It was like a fast food something. And the person kept saying, do you want ketchup or brown sauce? Which is not a phrase that is ever used in America because we don't have brown sauce, right? So I was going, what the fuck are they saying? And Sam was like, just say ketchup. Honey, please just say ketchup. It's like, just say ketchup and we can move on, please. So it's stuff like that, right? So coming up to the Costa, and being like, I want this thing. They were trying to, do the thing that they do at every coffee place, which is like, okay, cool. Would you also like, a slice of our signature cake of some description, or maybe a cookie, right? Like that sort of shit. But whatever the English version of that is, which is me just going, I don't know what the fuck you're offering me. I don't know. I'll just keep saying, no, that's it. No, that's everything. No, that's it. I'm done. No, I'm good. So, but there's also a huge part of my brain. So there's one part of my brain that's going, fuck, I hate this. I hate every time I go through a drive-through. But the reason I keep doing it is because the other part of my brain is going, but I'll never figure it out if I don't keep going through drive-throughs, right? So I have to make new mental adjustments. So, did you enjoy the Costa at least? I did. I got it so that Sam and I could share it. And then Clark got really upset that there wasn't a drink for her. And I was like, when we get home, we'll all split it. And she was like, okay. Because kids can have a little bit of caffeine. It's like not a big deal. So I was like, well, I'll just have this nice little treat. It's like this big. I shouldn't drink that whole thing because my tummy. So Sam got like this much and I got like this much. And then Clark got like an itty bitty bit. And Clark straight up was like just chugged it. I was like, I would like more, please. I was like, I think that's plenty, honey. I think that's plenty. What did you end up getting? It was like a toffee latte thing. Baby chinos. I didn't know those were a thing, but now I'll know. Yeah, the toffee spice stuff. It's like something you can get your kid so that they get to have a fun drink too. I think it's literally just like steamed milk, which is what I used to get when I was a kid, when my mom would go. I used to get vanilla in it though. I would get a vanilla steamer. That's what it was called at our local coffee place. I would get a vanilla steamer, and it's just steamed milk with a little bit of syrup in it. Hot sugar milk. Y'all want some hot sugar milk? Yes. Always. It was so sweet though, guys. Like, well, it was also just physically sweet, but like I gave it to Clark. I put it in like the little the tiny coffee cup that we have in the house with the little cat on it. So we all had our own little mugs, and we all just had little bits of coffee, and she had just an itty bitty bit. And I handed it to her, and she goes, "Thank you so much, Mommy." Like, it was the most incredible thing I had ever done for her. Like, "Thank you so much." And then she drank all of it and was like, "Wow, thank you, Mommy. More, please." How about we have water now? It's very sweet. I miss going to cafes. Me too. Me too. I never thought that I would feel this way, but I miss just like, I miss like window shopping. Isn't that weird? Isn't that dumb? Like, I miss just going into a small shop and just looking at shit with no intention of buying it. Like, I miss that. The VR was for Callus Road. Did you manage to stay awake this time? I stayed. So, my plan each Callus Row, I did show up. Yes, if that's your question. My plan each Callus Row is to be there for at least 2 hours. So if I'm still feeling sprightly or if nothing's going wrong, then I'll stay longer than 2 hours. But 2 hours, even without the daylight saving switch, it's still 3 a.m. So I planned on being there until 4 a.m. because that's when I would normally be ending. So I would have been there for 3/4 of it. But my tracking stuff was just borking so bad. And people kept being like, hey, bud, your leg is like on your head. Be like, oh, cool. I'll go fix that. So at one point I took all the trackers off and was like, it's fine. I just went to full body. But then my body kept like slowly rotating. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? So, speaking of, tonight I think we swap. So finally we will be back on track with America with an 8-hour time difference. Huzzah. 8 hours from Pacific time. The time where my homies are. Oh. Yeah, I never did the like sitting in a cafe thing really. Like occasionally, but only if I was like meeting up with somebody. But I liked the option of going into, and I know that you can right now, I just don't, but I liked walking into a cafe and like ordering a drink and just like hanging out in that vibe and then taking my drink wherever. I do miss cafes, yeah. I always wanted to be that researching a very important thing / writing a book person in a cafe. Yeah. Ugh. Oh, before COVID for like a year, I worked almost entirely in cafes. I know that this isn't the same, but if part of it is like the sounds, like the sounds of people, there's some really good websites that are literally just like, do you want to hear noise that reenacts like the feeling of being in a cafe? I used to put those on sometimes if I felt like it was too quiet in the house. It isn't the same. Of course it's not. But for some people, the sound helps them be more productive. Have you ever thought of opening your own cafe shop physical? Yeah. Well, I've really wanted to open like a, I don't know. I go back and forth on this now as an adult. But for a long time there, I was like, one day I'm going to have a cafe that is also a comic book store and it's going to be tight. As an adult, I look at that idea sometimes and I'm like, as cool as that would be, people would spill stuff on the comic books all the time and just wouldn't tell you, and that would be annoying. But I would really love to do like one of those. These were really big in like Los Angeles and the Pacific Northwest, but like one of those places that is a cafe and also a board game place. So you come to hang out and get a coffee or get food, but the reason you stick around is because you can just pick a board game up off the shelf and play it. Couldn't you do laminated pages? Not if your intention is to sell them. But yeah, if you were like, these are the display copies. If you like it, let me know and I'll sell it to you. Sure, I guess. Those board games sometimes make the cafe super noisy. Well, yeah, it's not the same as like a quiet cafe vibe. The intention is that people are like playing D&D or finding a board game or whatever. It's more lively, yeah. Yeah, I love that shit. Yeah, people have said that that's in London, which like everything's in London, but hell yeah. Emma, when it's safe, absolutely. You, Alex, Free, you can all come over, play Wingspan with me. I'm like preemptively messaging um basically everybody that I know and being like, "Hey, just FYI, I'm currently collecting board games in preparation for when we can all hang out because Free will bring enough dice for everyone." Free, that mad lad. We shipped all our board games from the US too. Look at us. Opens hot sauce bottle. Look at us. Look at us. Do you want to know the best part? I put this on last night during misdemeanor because I got cold. So it already has coffee stains on it from last night. Did I tell you guys that our washing machine isn't working again? Well, like the washing machine is still working fine, but the pipes are still like spitting out water. So I give up. I have to find a laundromat. My mother-in-law is offering to do some of it, which is very sweet, but we have so much. Like, I keep just being like, fuck it, I'm just going to let water get everywhere so that I can wash like things that we absolutely need. Yeah, of course I've talked to the landlord, yeah. Just keep sending the same dude out. And he keeps finding new blockages and being like, wild, this wasn't there before. And then we do it again and we're super careful about what we put down the drain and it works fine for like 2 days. and then it starts doing the exact same fucking thing. And we're just like, what is going on? I'm here for muffins. I already ate them all, my dude. It's past 2. You thought muffins were going to exist here for over an hour without being eaten? Wild. Good luck finding a laundromat. I mean, I've found one because I had to look this up before, but I don't know if they're open is the problem. Is Sam still alive or did Monster Hunter kill him? I was like, you can't do another long stream like that last one. That was insane. And he was like, I'm not going to. I'm just doing a normal stream. I was like, okay. And then he came to bed really late. And I was like, the fuck are you doing? And he was like, I got raided. I got like really big raids and I didn't want to like stop. It's your body, dude. Do what you want, I guess. Yeah, I think it was a Baru raid. Very silly. Actually, just reminded me of something. I wanted to double check a thing. Nope. Okay. The lighting looks great today. Thank you. Look, the outdoors are fickle. It's up to them whether I look like I'm blown out in the dark or just normal. I like your voice. Thank you. Love the cat tree lamp. Sam got that lamp for me. I don't remember what it's called, but it normally sits on this shelf and just kind of isn't used. Last night, when I was just kind of waiting for Callus Row to start, I was like, I really just want like soft lighting in here right now because the lighting feels really harsh in this room. And then I was like, oh, wait, I have this thing. So I put it on top of the cat tree and now here we are. What's Sam's Twitch? Twitch.tv/strippin. STRIPPIN. That's my husband. He's lovely. He's a great dad, a wonderful partner, a dear old pal. Yeah, a pro gamer. How was Callus Row? It was fun. It's wild. Literally, there was nothing going on. I was just kind of like goofing with people. And then that was the first time that my model started to bug out. So I was like, oh. So I stepped away so that I could like recalibrate, not where people were RPing. And by the time I came back, there was a shooting. There had, like, the area that I was just in, there had been a shooting. It was paused for a DM to decide if anybody died. It was, like, fucking wild. I walked up and I was like, what is going on? What the fuck is going on? Yeah, it was nuts. It might have saved your avatar's life for real. Fortunately, the mushrooms literally their major edge is that once they've taken a certain amount of damage, they just turn into like a smaller mushroom and slowly heal. But yeah. I also pitched to Sketchu that my small version is me walking around on two hands and using the other two hands. And she was like, okay. So we'll see if that happens, because I think that would be really funny. My character in Callus Row is a mushroom with 4 arms. Those 2 are 100% going to get you killed, dude. Danger follows them for real. Every time I'm like, okay, gonna hang out with the mushrooms, fucking crazy shit happens. I don't understand Callus Row. I watch you multiple times a week, always on Saturdays. I don't understand the system, what it is, what goes on, or how it works. So, do you understand what VR chat is? I think that that's like the big barrier to entry mentally. So, like, there's a program on Steam called VR chat, and inside of it, you are able to, as long as you have a VR system of some kind, you're able to go into VR chat and you can choose or create models to represent yourself. So, for example, I can hop in and then go to a mirror and go through any different like avatars or models that I've saved and choose one, and that's just what I look like, right? So Callus Row is taking that built-in system and has devs and Mac makers and stuff that created a world, basically. And then you apply to be in it. And it's basically a VR LARP. So everybody has a model that represents themselves, and if they're in the map, they are that character. And so when I'm in the game, I am Morel. I am a mushroom kid. And everybody has character sheets. So you fill out character sheets. They're mostly for RP stuff, but they also assist when DMs need to like determine if something happens or doesn't happen and stuff. So I have a character sheet that lists out like the things that I'm good at and the things that I'm bad at. I've submitted a thing that's like, these are the sorts of things I would love to do with them. If it's possible, if it happens, it happens. If not, it's fine. And so everybody has jobs. Everybody has like a role. There are different maps that are kind of like a class structure. So I live in the Undercity, which is not the very bottom place that you can be, but is like one of the lower areas. So like I can't go into like basically the upper class zone because I don't belong there. But I like in RP sense, I could go there if I had a reason or whatever. But so that's all to say there are multiple maps. There's lots of different like sorts of vibes to each map, completely different characters. There's like full on corporations and things. But the area that my character is in is basically just like sort of a weird steampunky slummy area. And honestly, the Undercity's tight. I think it's super cool. But yeah. And so say that one person shot another person, a DM can pause the situation and make some rolls and basically determine like how serious was that wound. Like, do they die or do they need medical attention or, whatever. And then unpauses. So yeah. If I want to watch Dodger and Calistro, which stream should I go to? So I don't stream it. The people that I'm around the most are the mushrooms. Both Kier and Sketchu, who are like the main devs, main like map makers. They both stream it. So I show up on their streams occasionally. But I haven't, like, as a character, I haven't gotten super close to anybody. So I'm not like consistently hanging out with anyone specifically, if that makes sense. I've always been curious if you would ever try LARP IRL and what kind of LARP would attract you. Oh, hell yeah. We have a bunch of friends out here who do LARPs. Obviously, there are no LARPs happening currently. But I've always wanted to do like real LARPing. And since we have friends that do real LARPing out here, we've talked with them about like next time that they go, we might also try it. It's hard. I'm of two minds, right? Part of me is like, I want to be a knight. That would be tight. Just be like a tiny knight in sick armor. I would love that. But another part of me is like, or I could just throw together like a weird herbalism outfit and just be like, just chill, right? Just chill and like watch people fight. And when they need people to play enemies, like occasionally be an orc or whatever, like that would be sick. Kelly hasn't streamed it in a while. Maybe only for a couple of weeks, but Kelly has streamed Calistro before, but I think for a couple of weeks now hasn't. Do the DMs determine story direction, or is it more the players craft it as they go during sessions? So, I mean, it's up to us to like involve ourselves in things and like go for stuff. But the DMs also work super hard. Like they look at everybody's sheets for like the area that they're in like the jurisdiction of. I was being told that like as people put in what are called story weaves, so like the as a character you can basically just write up a thing that's like, this is the sort of stuff I would love to explore with this character. The DM, all of the DMs and everybody will like read those together so that they're all kind of on the same page about what all of the characters are going for. And if there are opportunities for you to progress in that direction, they'll sometimes guide you to where you should be. So yeah, there's like a video that when you become a character, there's a video that they give you to watch that's basically like, here are how DMs work. And here's how to know if like a DM is trying to make a role for you, or if a DM is trying to like take you somewhere, or et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, so that's sort of how it works. So like if I'm running into people and just like chatting about stuff or things are happening, there's no interference until there needs to be generally. The number of times that stuff gets paused by a DM around me, I would say is only like once or twice a session. But it happens more often if you're like in the shit. Yeah, it's a cool idea. I was talking with them about like the differences between season 1 and season 2. Way more maps, way more people, etc. So it's cool. Is there a public version of this thing, or is it streamer invite only? I think anybody can apply. A lot of people don't. Most people don't stream. Also, they also take people who just want to be extras, like grunts or, you know, whatever. If you just want to be like side characters or like involved in big story stuff, like expendable characters. If you want to be an orc in a fight, so to speak, right? Like somebody who isn't really a character, it was like intended to die, or just kind of like chill. They have a bunch of people in there that are like extras, essentially. Yes, that's true. You need to have somebody vouch for you, which is taken very seriously. So if I like vouch for somebody else and they do and I'm saying like, I promise, like, because you trust me, you can trust this person. If they like go into the game and do a bunch of horrific shit and get kicked out, I would also get kicked out. So like, your vouching for that person means a lot. So yeah. But yeah, my character has a wiki page if you wanted to look at it. I've gotten to the point with this character where sometimes when I see artists that I love being like, I'm taking a couple commissions, I'm like, oh my God, I could get them to draw my mushroom. Who's vouching for you? Arcadum. The person who runs the whole thing and has played with me a bunch. Literally on my application sheet, it says, who's vouching for you? And Arcadum was like, just put me on there. It's like, okay, tight. Rip Arcadum. Yeah. If only he knew the sort of shit that I have planned. But like, people who have played in Verum games are kind of like given a vouching through that, right? They were trusted to be on Arcadum stream as a player and have a platform to like play a character. And so that's why I think anybody who has been a player in one of his games is able to say like, I'm vouched for because I was literally like in one of his games, you know. Morel, like the type of mushroom. Morel. I think I'm listed on the wiki. I think I'm listed as being in the row, but I'm not in the row. I'm Undercity. One of the things, I kind of wish that Kelly had been streaming last night because we were talking and she was like, oh, so Kelly's character runs the brothel. Somebody in before somebody says, of course she does. But Kelly's character is like an alien. And she's like a super tall, like blue alien with like this like bright pink and red hair. And she's very much like a mom figure, right? So she was like, oh, I really like your shirt, because Morel has a t-shirt that just says band on it. like a band, right? Like a music band. It just says band. She's like, I really like your shirt. You know, what does the shirt mean? And I was like, I found it at a dumpster and I put it on and it fit. And she was like, oh. She was like, oh, I thought maybe you liked music. Morel's only 10. All of the mushrooms are young. The implication and kind of the agreed upon lore is that a mushroom, the myconoids are like adults at basically like 2 or 3. Jimmy's really young as well. Wisp is the oldest myconoid, but all of us are under 50. But anyways, so yeah, so she was like, oh, I thought maybe you really liked music. And I was like, oh, I really like music. And she was like, oh, I really like music too. I'm really into like records, which are like kind of a vintage thing. And I was like, I don't know what that is. I basically forced her in RP to like try and explain what records are and also what the word vintage means. And she was like, oh, I mean, they're it was very fun. And then later when we were saying bye, I was like, hey, maybe I'll like come by the brothel and then you could show me like these things. And she was like, what? You know, these things. It was very fun. It's loosely based on Shadowrun. So if any of you have played Shadowrun before, Shadowrun is very much like when you think of Shadowrun, you think just like, oh, you know, like everybody's augmented and everybody, you know, crazy hacker shit. But like one of the major elements of Shadowrun is the war between sort of nature and magic and like cybernetic advancement and technology, right? So the two are in opposition to each other. So there are lots of characters who are magical in nature, who use magic, who are, you know, more vibed with that. And then there are characters who are 100% fully in the tech side. So like a lot of the corporate stuff is more technology. Undercity and the Wasteland is a lot of like nature and magic, but everywhere there are synths like robots and stuff like that. So it's like it's sort of the like meshing and meeting of those two things and how they interact with each other is like a huge element of it, right? So all of the myconoids are magical in nature. Yeah. Well, it's kind of fun because like Sketchu Sketchu made the models, I think, for all of the mushrooms. So they all have kind of like a similar vibe, which is very cool, like artistic wise. But Sketchu really loves, I think, making alternate clothing for her model. And I keep being like, oh man, if I could have like alternate outfits for Morel, what would they look like? Because as of right now, it's literally a t-shirt that says banned. T-shirt that says banned and ripped up jeans, and that's like the whole vibe. That's it. As a magic being, do you have spells and abilities, or is it more of an RP thing? I could pursue magic. I am a racial type as a myconoid, as like a mushroom. I can pursue magic. I don't want him to. I'm pursuing botany with the intention of like because like I currently work in the hookah shop, and I was looking around and I was like, there's fucking nothing in here, right? You basically walk in, there's like all of these nice little rooms with like cushions for people to sit on, and then there's essentially a vending machine for like drugs. Because all of the different myconoids sell like pieces of themselves, and they all do different things. And I was like, I feel like there are some interesting things you could do with that aside from just like selling just the straight product. Not to sound so weird about it, but I was like, you know, like in the real world, there's like mushroom coffee, right? You can buy mushroom coffee. There's all kinds of things that people do with mushrooms for like health benefits. And I had said that because Morel hates doctors and scientists, that I think it would be cool if he pursued some like back alley medicine sort of stuff, and that it started with him like messing with the mushrooms, you know, like messing with adding the mushrooms to different things, to like foods or to coffee and things, and like seeing what that did, because their body naturally is a painkiller, which is why they were like used in corp in the first place, is to try and develop painkillers. So a combination of like adding the mushrooms to other things, and also like trying to figure out how to utilize their body a bit better to like make a stronger painkiller even. All of the mushrooms have like a poof cloud that does different things. So Sketchu's puts people to sleep. Jimmy's is a Jimmy's, what's the word for it? Makes you like hallucinate. It's like a what's the word for it? It's a psychedelic. His is a psychedelic, which is exactly what his mushroom bit does. And mine is essentially like a muscle relaxant. Like it makes it so you can't use your body for a while. So they're basically like run mechanics, right? If you need to like get out of a situation, you can like poof and then leave. So I had said like if you know, if it's already written in that like Morel's body is a painkiller, then it would make sense if like the more extreme version of that is like anesthetic, or like you sort of like lose like motor function a bit for a while or something like that. So that's the sort of stuff that I'm doing with Morel right now. But people keep getting shot. But people keep getting shot, and it's hard to pursue that shit when people keep getting shot. What are you going to do? Yeah, that's originally what it was. It was supposed to be a stun cloud. We've adjusted it. Yeah, honestly, I feed people parts of my body all the time. People are starting to think it's less weird the more I do it. The more I show up and be like, eat this. I don't have quick regen, but like if you see the model, basically like there's like sort of dark fluffy bits on Morel's body, and so I like in character like RP taking like a fluffy bit off of the arm and giving it to a person to eat. And so far literally every single person has been like, I've eaten weirder shit, and they eat it. Which is like great. They built that into VR chat that you can pull bits off yourself. A lot of stuff in Callus Row is mimed, and you just make it clear what it is that you're doing. But like some of the stuff that Sketchu has done is like Sketchu has a version of the model that's like missing an arm, right? So if for whatever reason, she like sold part of her arm or had part of her arm cut off or whatever, she has that as an option to like swap to, right? Which is wild that that's necessary, but I've seen it come in handy already. So, yeah. So you can have like adjusted models basically. I do have regeneration. Yeah, all of the myconoids do, but it's slow. When are we playing something? Never. Not on a Saturday, my dude. I know, Jax. Yeah, Misdemeanor was very fun. I adore. In Roll20, you can put little ticks on your token. So if your character's like paralyzed, you can put a little symbol on you that means you're paralyzed. We all decided that if you need to step away, you can put a little red dot on yourself so everybody knows like, oh, they've stepped away to do something. What was I going to say? Oh, a goof that I keep doing with Alice is one of the symbols is basically like the like toxic zone symbol. So when he's just being a shit, I put the toxic symbol on him, and it always makes me laugh. It always makes me laugh. Yeah, like a biohazard symbol. Shenanigans with the cats. No shenanigans with the cats. They just chill, don't they? No, I don't think anything's been different with the cats. They just hang. The last, like, I want to say week, Clark has been getting up at least once. Like in the middle of the night. And, and if I am putting her back to bed and I don't close the door behind me, both of the cats will follow us in. Both cats will follow us in. And it's so hard to get them out of there. And they just meow. And Clark is like, Mommy, the cats are in here. And it's just a nightmare. Been considering adopting a cat. I'm not sure how happy they would be in an apartment. Plus, I'd be traveling quite a bit. How did you manage with Sherlock and Watson? I think, like, it was really good to have two. I didn't travel a ton, but, like, for a while there, I was going to conventions and stuff a lot. And they always did fine with that. But you want to make sure that you're going to be around for a while at least so that they, like, so that your cat gets comfortable, you know, in your home and all of that sort of stuff. If I would recommend getting an older cat, personally, because kittens are a lot of work. Like if you're somebody who's like, you know, worried that the cat is going to feel like cramped in an apartment or that they're going to be, you know, lonely or like stir crazy when you're gone. An older cat will deal with all of that better, and you also won't have to train it. It's already going to, you know to use a litter box and stuff like that, most likely. So. Yeah, and older cats get adopted so rarely. I got Sherlock when he was a little over a year old, they said. And he's just such a sweetie pie. I have not. I did not know the Dota anime was a thing until I opened Steam yesterday, and it was like Dota with a bunch of anime people on it. I was like, what is this? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Fostering like groups of kittens definitely taught me not to go anywhere while I'm doing that. There was one group of kittens that I was given when I was fostering, and I had to like go back to the farm for a couple of days. And so my friend was watching the cats. And it was just every single day I was getting so many and this could partially be because of the friend that I asked to help, but like every single day I was getting so many texts like, oh my god, they have so much energy, they're doing so much, they seem so stir crazy, like blah 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 blah, and just like giving me anxiety. Like I never should have left. Fuck. Yep, next episode will be this coming Monday. There was supposed to be an episode of Hollow Knight this last Monday, but one of our players had a thing. Yeah, I should adjust that. Hold on. We'll do it now. There we go. I honestly haven't even attempted to upload the dancing stream because I'm so worried I'm going to get a strike on it. Even if I don't, I keep being like, I'm not going to monetize it. It should be fine, but I just find myself worrying about it. I don't know. How do you deal with pets and babies? Like having them interact? I mean, I had like Watson did not do well when we brought Clark home. She was not happy. And Sherlock was very interested. Sherlock's also huge. So we generally, at first, it was kind of like you can sniff her and that's it, you know. But for the most part, we didn't really have to micromanage anything. It was like when she was a newborn, we didn't want the cats touching her really. And then when she was big enough that she could like grab things, we started using the word gentle a lot. That was like one of the first terms that we tried to teach her, is like gentle, and we would like always in front of her pet the cats like this to show like we don't grab, we pet them with flat hands, right? And so then she would start mimicking that. But it wasn't until recently, she's almost 3, it wasn't until I want to say the last couple of months that she and Watson have like really been coexisting just fine. For the most part, Watson just kind of avoided her, and Clark liked Watson, but didn't like chase her or anything really. It was just kind of like they both exist in the same house and they don't really seem too bothered with one another. Sherlock has always kind of hovered around Clark, but he also hovers around me. So I think he's kind of like extended his like weird sort of protective cat quality like to Clark. But honestly, like Watson is more patient with Clark petting her now than Sherlock is. Sherlock will kind of do the like cat bump thing up against Clark. Like he'll come over and like kind of rub his body against her, but if she goes to pet him, a lot of times he's like so yeah. Cats. Do they like Sam? I mean, Watson, I took Watson in around the same time that Sam visited America for the first time. So, like, she's known Sam as long as she's known me, really. And she would, like, exclusively sleep on his pillow, which he hated, and always wanted to, like, be near him. And I think eventually got the vibe that like he's just not really a cat person. Like he'll pet her, but you know, he doesn't like pursue like hanging out with Watson at all. So she wound up getting more attached to me, I would say. And Sherlock is just a one person cat, dude. He loves me. He loves people in general, but like he loves me. He wants to be in the same room as me always. When I'm gone, he walks around the house meowing, and Sam is just like, I don't know what to do. He's just so mad that you're not here. But yeah. Monogamous cats to the list of band name ideas. Oh, silly. My daddy's got a gun, my daddy's got a gun, my daddy's got a gun, you better run. That song has straight up been stuck in my head for what? A week and a half? That's not the most secure place to put a VR headset. There? Where I discarded it after using it last night. I think that's a perfect place to put it at 3 a.m. No, we haven't watched the Jujutsu Kaisen finale yet. I'm going to try to get Sam to watch it with me this weekend. It's a good song. I don't mind it. Do you play any instruments? No, I wish. I wish I played an instrument. I pluck around on the ukulele sometimes. I've always wanted to learn how to play bass guitar or drums or both. But I don't actually know how to play any instruments now. Nope, I haven't watched all of the things that you guys are asking me if I've watched. I have not. Yeah, absolutely. You can use the suggested games thing for board games and stuff. Absolutely. I've played a lot of Binding of Isaac. Not recently, but I have played a lot of Binding of Isaac. And I was really surprised to hear that they were doing new DLC. So yeah, I'll be interested in that. It's the final one. I want to. I've got this like VR setup now. I want to do VR streams. I think that would be fun. Yeah, that's what people were saying, that there's like a group Minesweeper thing in VR chat. There's like escape room stuff, all kinds of things. So I definitely want to do that sort of stuff. That sounds great. Yeah, people ask this a lot, and I don't know if it's because we've been talking about VR more or what. Yes. Um I would love to have a VTuber persona that looks just like me from the neck down, but then the head is a skull. That's my perfect VTuber. I keep saying specifically a cat skull, but you know, like one of the ones that you would find at Target where for some reason there are like bone ears. I basically want to be the opposite of a cute anime girl. I want to look mediocre from the neck down, or just like a normal ass person from the neck down. I want to be androgyny incarnate from here to wherever, and then I want the top half to be a skull. Can the skull be a flaming skull for the badassery? I mean, I think that should be an option, right? I think it should be a normal skull, and then there should be a way to like light up the eyes with different colors, or like do like weird shit like that. Yeah, an RGB skull, exactly. I want that. No. No hair. I don't want any hair. Just skull. Just skull. Hi, Sci-Fi. How are you, dude? How's Callus Row? It was great. We were actually just talking about it. Somebody was like, "You keep talking about Callus Row, but I literally I do not understand what it is whatsoever." So we kind of tried to do like a deep dive, like from scratch, like what it is. And I don't know if I did it justice, but it feels like people understand a bit better. How was it for you? How is it being a DM? I'm sure DMing is like very fun and also extremely stressful. Sam was going to show it, but he's an old man. His dude, he's like, his back is so fucked up. It's like, he was saying to me, it's literally, if he sits, he has to just stay there. So I was like, are you DMing in Callus Row tonight? And he was like, do you think I can stand up with a VR headset on and do anything? And I was like, no, I don't. I don't think you could. Yeah, he's been looking at standing desks. I honestly think it would like be a game changer for him. I would also kind of like a standing desk, but I also feel like I'm much more antsy than a lot of people. Like I stand up a decent amount. I move around and I adjust myself, and like Sam literally like starts playing and just slowly either does this or does this. The longer he's playing shit. And then he's like, God, my whole body hurts. What the fuck? So, yeah, he's got that gamer hunch. Oh, there's my kid. Oh, is she coming? Hello, my little darling. Hi. You need to pee. Okay. They are the car keys, yeah. Okay, shall we go pee really fast? Yeah. This will be a really quick BRB, and then we're literally going to come back and say bye. But the potty awaits. Burb. Oh, yeah. Ready? Oh, it's us. Can I take this?
I want the cat.
You want the cats?
Yeah.
You want the cats back? Okay. These cats?
No.
No. Do you want these cats?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're cute, huh?
I'm having a little party.
I think they are having a little party. What do you see? What are they doing?
Dancing.
They're all dancing, huh? Is one of them eating cake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is one of them making juice?
Eating juice?
Yeah.
Maybe. Is that what those look like?
Yeah.
Little cups of juice. It could be, yeah.
Water.
Or water, sure. Huh. What are you doing? What is this laugh you're doing? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so I'm hearing it correctly. That's good. What's up? Oh, was he stroking his tummy? The one that was going like this?
No.
No, he was stroking his tummy. Let me look. Who's stroking their tummy? This one? Yeah. He's kind of doing like one of these, right? Hi, Alex.
Is that your friend?
Yeah, you've met him before, Alex. But you met him when you were a baby.
Baby.
Oh, baby. Yeah, an itty bitty baby.
Why was I a baby?
Why were you a baby?
Yeah.
Because you hadn't grown yet, huh? Remember, like, when we were talking about babies and tummies, and then they get big enough that there's no room anymore, and then you popped out and you were this big, like dolly size. You were dolly sized, huh? And now look at you, you're so big. You're not a baby anymore, huh?
Like this size.
Yeah, like that size.
Or like this size.
Or that size. How big am I? Am I big?
Little.
I'm little. Am I as little as you? Yeah. Is daddy little?
Big.
Daddy's big. Is Sherlock little? Yeah. Is he littler than you? Yeah, huh? Sherlock is smaller, huh? He is littler than you are. What are you doing? Let's see. What are you doing, you goofball? All right, let's start reading the activity feed. Thank you all so much for watching today. This is the point at which I'm back in parent mode. Yes?
Cock off.
Don't talk off. What does that mean?
Cock off means we shouldn't cock off.
What is talking off though? Is that like being mean, or what is it? When you say I'm talking off, what does that mean? Do you mean like take off?
Yeah.
So when we say bye-bye, I'm not saying bye-bye to you, am I? I'm saying bye-bye to chat. So we read off all the names that are on our little list, and then we say thank you so much, and then we say bye-bye. And if you want to still look at yourself in the camera, you can, you goofball. Andrew Detshanu, thank you for the 59 months. Megan Topia for the 6. Yes?
It's like mommy.
Actually, that one is named Baby Cat. That one's a baby cat. Huh.
She's supposed to live at her kitty home.
She's supposed to live at her kitty home.
Yeah.
Let me see. Or maybe she was just popping in to say hi. Do you think so? Megantopia, thank you for the 6. Literature Geek for the 31. Steffers, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the Cat Gang. Pirate Lord for the 3. Potato for the 4 years. Happy anniversary. Zilzanar, thank you for the 2. Staring Stars for the 47. Weird Uncle Jay for the 56. Adoramus for the 25. Edward McDougall for the 43. Brain of Brian for the 28. Dr. Subterfuge for the gifted sub. Yaz Paints for the 25. Tiny Legs for the 14. Early Winter for the 40. Sir William for the 30. Sir William also gifted subs. Thank you so much. The Runes for the 53. Difficult Deb for the 30. Cypress for the 1 year. Happy anniversary. What are you doing? Legion for the 21. Andy Thompson for the 2. Mist and Chocolate for the 56.
Mommy Kitty.
Who was Mommy Kitty? Was there another kitty that popped up?
Like you say hi.
Oh.
She pop up in our house.
She popped up in our house. Was that a yawn? It looked like... Oh. Like that?
I want to go downstairs.
Suddenly it's not fun because your mommy's doing it. Unreal. Tina Jima, thank you for the 79. Not a pro for the 11. Meld Iron for the 45. Boldly Trekking for the 6. Bakovic for the 26. Aniki V0 for the 4. Shifty Monk for the 52. I'm not. Resnick for the 4 years. Happy anniversary. Superbread for the 30. Sir Wazzle for the 9. Happy Twitch baby. Busy B for the 6. OKT for the 49. Compost Cop for the 2. GK Gamer Fan for the 43. Infernal Pyro for subscribing. Welcome to the Cat Gang. Sarah Barrow for the 18. And Happy Sammy for the 57. What are you doing? What are you doing? He's so sleepy, cutie pie. Okay. Owie, Bunky. You okay? Quick. Okay. Let's see. Air Neon. Let's see if they're streaming, Clarky.
Your friends are?
So they've been recommended. Oh, they're playing Hades. This is one of Mommy's favorite games. They're playing Hades. So we are going to send everybody who's watching us to them to go and say hi. So there we go. Be nice, be sweet, spread love, spread joy. I'm going to go be a mom to this ham, this absolute ham of a child. Goofball. Take care, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.